Hello ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Taylor and welcome back to the art table for February 2023. Today we'll be recovering my friend Jarod aka Unconventional Wraps, again as I'm recovering the first three art tables that I did. So Jarod, as you can see, is a jewelry maker, and he's actually part of the reason I wanted to make this series was to highlight the different forms of art and creations that are out there. So before we really get into his stuff, and I have some really interesting pieces picked out, I do want to go over the rules, and I will again do this in every single video. I take no kickbacks, advertising, promotions, discounts, commissions, or any sort of monetary or physical gain from these videos. Any commissions that I have done by the artist are done outside of the scope of these videos, either before or afterwards, and again, bear no relation or weight on the video. I do not offer any sort of discount or promotional code for you to go to the artist and then speak with them. Any transactions done between you and them are just that, between you and them. I am in no way involved, and the artist does always, and I make this very clear to them as well, reserve the right to refuse any business if they are not comfortable with it. So they may be too busy, it may be something they're not interested in, or just might not be up their alley. So again, I do not guarantee you can get a piece by the artists that I am featuring on this channel. Any transactions will be between you and them, and I wish you the best of luck. Please treat them respectfully, they are human beings. Just before we get into the pieces here, I do want to mention that Jarod focuses very heavily on the metaphysical aspects of certain stones. Now, I am by no means an expert in metaphysics, nor could I properly explain it to you. I will leave in the description down below a definition and guide to what metaphysics are, as well as the metaphysical properties of some of the stones he's used in the video. Now, if you message him yourself, he can easily explain kind of what each vibe it's have, so that you two can work together and find the right stone for you. So bear in mind as you're looking at these pieces that each one of them was either picked for their metaphysical properties or because the person commissioning them has decided that is the stone that they wanted. So the first piece that I wanted to cover by Jarod was a more unconventional one. It's this honey hex, as he's called it, that you're seeing on screen right now. Now, I understand this may not be a wearable piece of jewelry, so to speak. I'm not sure it would really fit on your finger, or maybe as a large necklace pendant, but he does do some pieces occasionally where it's more of a decorative piece that you could hang in your home or maybe in your vehicle, not necessarily a wearable item. And I really love this piece, not only because of the colors, but also the demonstration of his craftsmanship. I have seen him grow over the last year or so into this beautiful artist. Now, don't get me wrong, the stuff he started with was fantastic, but he has grown more precise and creative as time has gone on, and this piece really highlights that. Moving on from the honey hex piece, I did want to highlight, I think, the only pair of earrings I've ever seen him post about. These are, as mentioned in the description, kind of repurposed older family earrings. So he didn't necessarily create the housing, but he did replace the gems, which I think really highlights his capabilities to be able to not only create new things, but replace old things and give them a new life. So this next piece I wanted to highlight is not necessarily his most out there unique piece, but it really demonstrates the sophistication in what he does. So naturally, as you can tell by the name, he works with wire wrapping. So while you can see a more solid base in the form of a single piece of metal that will be shown in later pieces, this is more his speed, creating unique designs by wrapping metal around itself to give it a more beautiful look. Now, some of his pieces get really out there, kind of the honey hex style, as well as a few more I'll be showing later in the video, but they can also be very simplistic and elegant, like you're seeing with his heart necklace. Not to mention, he always picks wonderful gems and has a great eye for them. So I picked this one because it, again, really highlights the variation in his work and the variation of stones that he has at his disposal. I noticed he says simplicity drop, which I'm not sure if I would personally call these simple, but I understand what he means by that. It's a lot less of a complex design than what we'll be seeing a little later on in the video. Just, it's coming right up. But it also demonstrates just how different a lot of these can look and how beautiful a lot of these are. So I've been talking up his more, quote, complex designs, especially after the simplicity necklaces. So I really wanted to show off these two Cthulhus because it demonstrates the more out there ideas that he has sometimes. And I think these are really cool. I don't know if I would wear this as a pendant personally, but that's just because it may not be my style. But I think what he's been able to do in creating the face, and especially the tentacles, is awesome. It is way beyond my comprehension as to how he does all of these things. All I know is that when he decides to put his mind to something, it turns out beautifully. In addition to the 2 previous Cthulhus, I really wanted to highlight this glow-in-the-dark one, because, as it says, it does indeed hit different. And again, shows the variety of stones he's able to either obtain or already has in his possession. Not to mention adds a whole new dimension to the pieces you can get made, because it could look completely different under UV light. Moving back into the more, quote, simple things, I really liked this uncut gem that he has here. I really loved the uncut gem that he has here, because it demonstrates what he starts out with. It shows just how much work he puts into making these gems sparkle. In the next clip, you're going to see exactly what I mean. So with this clip, same gem that we had seen in the previous photo, but then look at what he can turn it into. So as you can see, it's not necessarily the exact same gem, but it's the same type of gem in both the top and bottom, and it's not the wire work, it's again the more solid piece, demonstrating the main ways in which he likes to work. You can also clearly see that he is pricing them out as 2 separate pieces, so you can really kind of pick whichever one appeals to you, the larger, uncut, more raw feeling one, or the more processed, very sleek, solid looking one. Moving on from the unprocessed to what is arguably one of my favorite pieces. Now, I do have a huge weakness for opal as well as jade, but I'll be getting to that one shortly. This opal and garnet necklace really grabbed me, not only because it's really well done in terms of the wire work, but it's elegant. It's not really out there like the honeycomb or the Cthulhus, which I think are fantastic, but maybe not my speed per se. This necklace, Joe, just really stood out to me as being a fantastically beautiful and eye-catching piece. Now, one final piece I wanted to get into before I do talk about the commissions I've had made from Jarod is what I've dubbed as a dragon face. Now, I don't know if it's meant to be a dragon. That's what it looked like to me. But again, it really highlights the intricacies and delicateness of what Jarod does, and just how tightly he can get everything wrapped, and how beautifully crisp it can look. Now again, this isn't necessarily a piece I would be interested in, but I do think it's fascinating to see just what he can do with a length of wire and some gems. So the last few pieces I wanted to discuss are the technically 3 commissions we've gotten from Jarod. Now the first one I'm going to talk about is the pendant that I got made for a necklace. One thing I do want to point out with pendants and necklaces especially, he does not do the chains for a necklace, or rather the necklace itself. He will just do the pendant, and then it's up to you to provide the necklace. So this is actually why I said I have a real weakness for jade. Now I understand you're supposed to gift jade to another person. I decided to gift this to myself because why not? This piece was rather emotional for me because it's meant to be a replacement for a golden cross that was gifted to me by my Chinese grandfather that I lost a number of years ago. So as you can see, it's not the same, but it still holds great significance to me. And the whole process that Jarod and I went through to find a proper jade seller, find jade in the shape that we felt would work, that I thought looked nice, and that he believed would work for the necklace. And the amount of time that we spent just going back and forth saying, this is what I like, this is what I can do, and just kind of finding a nice, workable middle ground. Because I had a really vague idea of wanting a cross, and he helped bring that to life. He created a beautiful masterpiece with so many ideas that I never would have thought about. Having the centerpiece show the jade, having the edges show jade, because it's made up of, I believe it's 5 different pieces. And that's just something I never would have even considered. The final 2 pieces I wanted to cover are a set of couples rings that I had asked my wife for my birthday, because I wear a lot of jewelry. Right now, 3 rings, a bracelet, a watch, and 2 necklaces. And I didn't have anything from her. I didn't have anything that represented her. So I'd asked her if she could commission Jarod for a couples ring. Now, the ring you're seeing on screen is the original version that he made. That was unfortunately lost. But the version you're seeing now in the video of both of our rings is the one I'm currently wearing. So as you saw with the previous ring, it was very dark, as is my pendant. That is because Jarod uses a technique called tarnishing.
Foul tarnished.
No, Margaret, just because the word tarnished came up does not mean you get to pop into this video. Get out. So tarnishing allows Jarod to make the jewelry varying shades of black, or just varying shades darker. So as you saw with the image, it was a very, very harsh dark black, but as you see with my current ring, it's a much lighter shade of silver. And my wife's ring is even almost a sterling white. Now, the metals that Jarod uses is typically a sterling silver, so it doesn't tarnish the skin at all. I've had very cheap silver before that has turned my skin green when I wear it in the shower. I have been wearing this necklace in the shower for many, many months, probably over a year at this point, and it has never once adversely affected my skin and has held its shape really well. The rings that we wear are fantastic. They fit great. He made sure to adjust them just to our finger sizes once he gave them to us, and we've had no real issues with any loose wires or anything poking out. When we were having these rings made, I had messaged him and I asked, because I work in a physical environment, will this ring hold up? And he said, and I quote, "Don't worry about it, bud. I threw it across the room just to make sure everything would stay in place." Now, I don't actually wear my ring to work because I work in a warehouse, and having something with exposed stones is not okay. All of my other rings do not have stones in them, so those are more okay. But I will guarantee you, if nothing else, that if you commission him for a ring, he will not throw it across the room. And I do hope you commission him. All of his social medias that I have available to me will be linked in the description down below. Please, by all means, hit him up. Ask him what he thinks about your idea. Tell him what kind of vibe you're going for. And I think you can come away really happy with a really unique creation. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please go check out Jarod again. All the links will be in the description down below. Make sure also to subscribe to the channel. Share this video with people. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Not even just for me, though I do want this channel to succeed. I want to get these artists, Jarod, Jublier, and all the many more I'm going to cover, out to as many eyes as I can. And it's a lot easier for me to do that when people subscribe, when people share the video around, because that just helps generate more business and hype and word of mouth for the artists. And yeah, I do benefit a bit, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next art table. Hopefully I can make this a thing by the 14th of every month. Anyway, I'll see you there.